This time I'd like to bring up our elected officials. I have a few words to say, and everyone could please a hand for Ms. Nydia Velazquez, Councilwoman Nydia Velazquez.
Thank you, and Happy New Year. We have a lot of work to do, but let me just say to Ed, thank you for the great work and all the achievements that you were able to achieve during last year's work. I know how much you care. You are the stewards of this organization, how much you care about quality of life issues, and I believe together with the board, you were able to tackle some of the most important issues that you care about. And Martin, welcome on board as the new president. And we're going to be working with you. I know that you have big shoes to fill, but we're going to be all working together. Let me just say that if anything, we should all be proud that finally Congress saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And last week we passed the omnibus bill, restoring federal funding that will keep our government running for the next 8 months. And that is so important, especially because we will restore funding for education, we will restore funding for early childhood, and we included almost $1 billion. New York alone is going to get $500 million for early education, early childhood education. In terms of our national security, we restore funding, and New York is going to get for Homeland Security close to $438 million. We restore funding for the military, especially for disabled veterans. And that is the fair thing to do. So many of our young men and women who went to Iraq and Afghanistan, they got wounded, they are disabled, their families are caring for them, and the right thing to do is to restore so that we could provide the services that they need. We still have some challenges, and that is the Farm Bill. And that is important because it has to do with agricultural and food production in this country and safety, but also nutrition, especially for children. And we have not been able to achieve a compromise. If we don't, the reauthorization will expire at the end of this month. What will that mean for us as a nation? Well, that the price of milk will double immediately. And they will implement $20 billion in cut for children nutrition programs. In a country like ours, we need to care for those most vulnerable, especially for our children. And these are poor children. I introduced 13 bills last year. I introduced 8 amendments to some of those bills, 5 of which were part of the legislation that we passed. 2 amendments that are very close to my heart in the sense that we lost a Chinese American soldier, 18 years of age, because of hazing in the military. So from now on, we will require more money to put into the military so that we have better cultural training and that we prevent hazing and discrimination in the military. We still, as we all know, the economy continues to struggle, and we have 2.3 million Americans who are unemployed. These are people that every day get up and go out there seeking a job. But we are not there in terms of a full recovery. And when we talk about unemployment benefits, this is benefit money that you pay. This is not a giveaway that the government is giving to a person that loses their job. It's money that is deducted from your income, so that if one day you fall into a situation where you need the government's help, that we're going to be there. Last December, December 28th, we did what I didn't believe we would do, to leave 1.3 million families without unemployment benefits in our nation, just in the eve of the holidays. So New York alone has 100,000 workers who are unemployed, who are not receiving. And every week that we don't restore unemployment benefits, we're going to have 4,500 people without benefits. So these are the challenges that we are facing. I hope that we will continue to work in a more bipartisan way, because the country really is tired of this bickering in Washington. We have to come together and address the important issue, whether it is comprehensive immigration reform, whether it is a job bill, whether it is making our school competitive and putting the kind of resources that we need, or if we are going to have an economy that is competitive, we need to have that edge. The only way that we will achieve that is by investing resources into research, biomedical research. New York is, with all the medical institutions that we have, will be impacted if we do not put the money that we need. We put $1 billion into the National Institute of Health. We were fighting to get $2 billion. Our population is aging. Alzheimer's and other preventive diseases are challenging to us. We need to make sure that we have the resources in order to continue to make the discoveries that are important for our society. So that's in a snapshot what we are confronting, but now we're going to go back, we're going to deal with the debt ceiling, and we will continue to work through having a compromise for next year's fiscal budget. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, I will answer.
Is there any way of putting that unemployment insurance back into the budget at this time, even though it's in place?
No, because we already passed the omnibus bill. Right now, there is a bill that passed the Senate, and now we have to do it on the House. Once we do it on the House, they will go to reconciliation. Any other question?
How about Obamacare? What's going to happen to our health care?
Well, it is being implemented as we speak. As you know, it was challenged in the U.S. Supreme Court, and the individual mandate, that provision was challenged, and we are just implementing it. We got some problems on the rollout, but as you see, places like New York, where the state government established an exchange, it is working. And the latest numbers that we got was 2.3 million people that are already enrolled nationwide, but only 13 states nationwide. We are expecting 7 million people. The challenge that we have is we need to increase the number of young people that will enroll into the exchanges, because that way we increase the pool. That will bring costs down in terms of the premiums, because we have a larger pool, and that will help us negotiate. But also, it is important that we get those young people, age 26 and more, to enroll, because that will help us spread the risk, and that then will bring the cost of health insurance down in our country.
Yeah, I would also like to add, as a lot of the rhetoric around the rollout passes, and it is passing now because we're not hearing it every 5 seconds on the news, what we're gonna find is smaller businesses, the ones that are 75 people and above, are gonna see that it's beneficial to give subsidies to their employees to get this
Yeah.
insurance,
And-
and then the government will match these subsidies.
Yeah.
And once those mid-sized businesses see this,
Yes.
it will start taking on.
Last year, the subsidy was 35%, but you know what? There was so much confusion in terms of the misinformation that was put out there that people and businesses didn't take the time to really learn about it. And last year, the tax credit that they got was 35%. This year, this fiscal year, is going to be 50%. So that will bring the costs to the businesses down and will incentivize for them to provide health insurance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Somebody has a question.
Yeah. How do you folks justify pulling $750 billion out of Medicare over the next 10 years? Where is that money going to go? How is it going to be used? And how are you going to make up for the cut in benefits and the increase in costs?
Well, it's not that we took $700 billion out of Medicare. That is the propaganda that was put out there. What we are doing is cost corners, and make it more cost efficient to produce the savings. The challenge that we have is that our population is aging. The challenge that we have is to make sure that we got the resources. But in the proposed Republican budget, they indeed put to cut $800 billion out of Medicare. We, throughout the negotiations of the sequestration, we allow for only a 2.5% cut, while they try to cut Medicaid by $900 billion. It didn't happen. You know why? Because we said sequestration, okay, we're going to cut $500 billion out of the military. When they agreed to do that, it was to force the Republicans to come to the table to have the kind of budget that we were able to have, where we are restoring a lot of money that was cut out of those programs.
I read that, by the way. It wasn't propaganda. It was in the AARP magazine and was written by an expert, with inputs from experts and an outside
It was
government.
not cutting Medicare. It was not.
It's going to be reallocated. I mean, that's what
All right,
that's what I read. So
I'm
it
sorry, we
goes.
really need to move on. I want to keep this going. We definitely have a lot on the agenda today. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.